Alright guys, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the High Elves led by Menacing Platypus facing off against Bretonnia, who's going to be helmed by Lord, I have no idea how to say that, so we're just going to call him Lord for short, here on Ostucci Castle. So this is certainly a fun matchup. Historically, back in Warhammer 2, I remember this used to be one of the cursed matchup for High Elves. They would basically just sit in a box with Phoenix Guard and pray to whatever Assyrian gods they believe in to try and survive. But it's probably changed in this old rendition of the game with the calling of reinforcements and the points being a variable. We'll have to see. I'm quite curious. I have a bit of a thought process about this matchup that is a little bit outdated. So PECLIS is going to be up on his bird. PECLIS is ready for blood, and he is going to be coming in with the Fiery Convocation as well as the Flock of Doom and Net. Fiery Convocation is it's bound, so it's free for him, which is cool. And yeah, Net and Flock of Doom are both nice. You can net down Bretonnian Knights to break their charge bonus, make sure your spears can catch them, or your cavalry get the charge on their cav. And Flock of Doom is pretty good against cheap, trash infantry like Bretonnian troopers. So I do like it. PECLIS is rad. Fireborn here, they're ready to party. They do have a bit of a tough matchup into Grail Knights because of the fact that they don't have good armor piercing, whereas Grail Knights do. So Grail Knights will objectively win in a 1v1 fight. Plus, Grail Knights also circumvent the 20% physical resistance, but they can crush lesser Bretonnian Knights, like Knights Errant. Knights of the Realm will probably trade okay into, and yeah, we'll keep tabs. And they have access to healing, right? PECLIS, no, we didn't bring it. Okay, so no healing for them. No milk for those guys. Backfield is going to be Spearmen here for Platypus, Archers, Talons of Torquelada, and Basic Archers. So just the dreaded light armor archers, not just basic archers, but light armor. Yeah, interesting. Just spears and bows with a big expensive centerpiece and a companion in the Fireborns. Now, for the Bretonnian army here, it is going to be the Fay Enchantress with Grail Reliques, kind of a previous patch type army with multiple Grail Reliques. And despite some of the cost increases they got, they're still very, very good. And it is going to be giving ITP and buffs to nearby troopers, so peasant mobs, battle pilgrims, and deep reserve. And normally, I think you would see foot squires here in this situation to deal with Silverins and all that sort of stuff like that. But maybe the battle pilgrims have some applications against basic spearmen, and also their shields will help them against archer fire. Kind of curious about that. So we're going to have to see how this all unfolds. And of course, these players couldn't have made it any more difficult. The banners they chose, this literally looks like a Bretonnian banner in terms of the color scheme. So yeah, those are two of the most similar banners I think I've seen in a while. I know there's some Chaos ones that look really similar. Like Nurgle has some that are have a brownish hue, and then they can kind of look like Norskin ones. And yeah, it gets a little bit crunk. Now, this is something you would see back in the day as well. Bretonnians, in order to break the boxes of High Alpha halberds, is they would rock the Blessed Trebuchets, right? They do magic damage, so it circumvents the physical resist of the elite High Alpha units, and can be pretty disruptive as well. But I have a feeling Platypus is going to come back here full chub and try and hunt this down with PECLIS. Flock of Doom going down here, going to be tickling these spearmen. And yeah, how is Bretonnia going to stop this big chicken from just doing whatever it wants on this Blessed Field Trebuchet? A Knight of the Realm call-in would be okay, I guess. Fay Enchantress is going to be ignoring it, and we do see a Knight of the Realm call-in. So yeah, PECLIS, what is he going to be doing? Probably a Fiery Convocation. Maybe he's going to be waiting for his opponent to stop paying attention, and it is going to be a Fiery Convocation. I mean, that's very dodgeable if the Bretonnian player was paying attention, and is he? Oh, they're running! They're going to get there. Will it actually kill the crews, though, the pieces? Okay, so yeah, that's why that spell is Haggard, and it was easily dodged by the Bretonnian player, so well played to Lord here. So as far as the objectives go, we do see objective number 1 is owned by the Elves, and their archers are vastly superior to the Bretonnian peasant bowmen. So those peasant bowmen are going to be getting taken apart. But the question is going to be the other objectives. Now, a bit of a blob fight here. Fay Enchantress and her peasant mobs slightly surrounded here by the Fireborn. And yeah, Fireborn also taking a little bit of returning damage from these archers, not too much. And the Fay Enchantress is going to be mortis engineering down those calves, so she can do some good disruption there. Knights of the Realm looking to battle more Dragon Princes, so very cav-heavy build here, but PECLIS disrupting their charge here, so he breaks the charge to the Knights of the Realm, but he is going to be taking some nice anti-large damage from those Knights as well. As the Dragon Princes now come back in to try and help, they have to move through some chaff units, which is no problem. I guess some of them do get caught up on the bodies there of those men-at-arms, but many of them do make it in, and a nice net on those Knights of the Realm. So Knights of the Realm don't have the best sustained combat stats. With sub-30 melee defense, they're definitely going to lose in a sustained grind here against the Dragon Princes. Chalice of Potions going down. Nice one there by our Bretonnian player, able to nail those archers. He didn't get the ROR. The Talons of Torquelada would have been a little bit of a nicer target. And I would like to see a Peasant Mob also going to Objective 3, just to try and grab that. Yeah, Knights of the Realm being taken apart by Dragon Princes with the support of PECLIS, which is a 3,000 gold plus character, so obviously that makes a little bit more sense. In the backfield, the Fireborn have been taken apart. It looks like they dove greedily and deeply trying to get on the Blessed Field Trebuchet, but the Knights of the Realm were able to intercept them. And this time Bretonnia is going to be having the numerical advantage, as Knights of the Realm are supported by spears and Fay Enchantress. While over here, we do see the Knights of the Realm still holding firm for the lady, and oh, there's a Grail Relic nearby. Okay, so that was one of the reasons why those Knights were staying a little bit longer than you would have expected. Now, as far as the objectives go, middle objective owned by nobody. It's Battle Pilgrims versus Silverin Guard. Silverin will definitely win that fight in a long grind, most likely, because of just how jacked their stats are. 30 and 54 against 42-31 with a big armor difference. Nobody playing objective number 3, so not seeing any peasant mobs being called in, rather reinforcing the middle with more Silverin Guard, which are going to be a very, very tough cookie to crack. Now, PECLIS still causing some havoc in the front lines, and it looks like the Trebuchet has managed to have been stabilized here, as more Knights of the Realm are going to be called in, certainly probably wishing he had some Grail Knights. Fay Enchantress better watch out. Does not want to mess around with PECLIS. PECLIS hits pretty hard, 46 melee attack, as well as, I believe, 400-something weapons rank, 440. I feel like Arcane Phoenixes could use a little bit of a damage buff. I don't know. It's kind of weird for how expensive they are, although the fact that they heal and have that, like, or that bombardment, probably, I don't know. It's a tricky one. So big heals going down over here. It is going to be an Earthblood in the backfield against the Knights of the Realm, on the Knights of the Realm, to help them clear out these Dragon Princes. As far as value trading goes, it's a pretty even game. I would say, yeah, obviously Bretonnia does have access to a little bit more healing here with the Fay Enchantress, who's probably been casting Earthbloods and Wakening the Wood. And oh god, these peasants are going to get eviscerated. And hey, that's good value. So that's going to come down and just cook those Bretonnian troopers there. So those men-at-arms just get absolutely roasted. Battle Pilgrims seem to partially dodge that, although it looks like most of the unit was actually moving that way. So they clearly didn't get hit. High Elf Archers, Talented Torquilada trying to soften up the Fay Enchantress, and the Bretonnian peasants going to be rallying forth to protect the lady. But so far, Platypus does have complete control over the objectives. Nice Earthblood going down there from Lord, as the Knights of the Realm going to be surging into the backfields, hunting down the Riders on the Storm. Riders on the Storm, it's a great song. But yeah, I mean, they are anti-large poking sticks, so even if the Knights do catch them, it might not be super devastating. Nets going down, really, really nice reaction there. But what is the follow-up going to be? Looks like the Archer's now going to be turning about face, and will the old Elves, so tricky with these banners, I'm telling you, have any time to get anything to stop these Knights from just rampaging in the backfield? Objective 2, owned by the Nobody. Wow, nobody's captured it. It's been like super hotly contested. It looks like Bretonnia's been fighting tooth and nail, but the High Elves do finally get that one while also holding Objective 1 up there. Nobody's playing the low ground objective, and this is what I'm talking about. Bretonnia should have done this a long time ago, to send like a haggard peasant mob down there, and you know, eventually you'll have that objective. It's free real estate. Why not take it? I mean, 100 gold. Come on, talk about a bargain, right? So overall battlefield assessment. Let's look in the backfield for the Elves. So they got Silverin Guard moving up. Pure Main Company is not bad. These guys do have a good armor piercing, and you know, kind of are just a generalist unit. They can fight cavalry, they can fight infantry, they won't do bad. And Bretonnia was getting a little bit of momentum on this objective, with just waves and waves of haggard troops, as well as their battle pilgrims. It looks like we got some Knights Errant coming in to try and break the High Elf formation. Definitely will be able to butter the bread of those spearmen as they do break their charge. And now Bretonnia may have a pretty good opportunity to take objective number 1. As far as Objective 2 goes, it is in flux. It looks like the forces of Bretonnia might find a way to wrestle this one back, so certainly a big momentum shift on the battlefield as it pertains to the objectives. Grail Relic keeping them nice and sauced. Knights of the Realm going to be diving in the backfield, and could this be the point at which PECLIS starts to maybe lose a little bit of control over the front line? That can happen to the Elves, of course, very elite, and their numbers can get low. Huge Chalice of Potions here from Bretonnia. Nasty stuff on those Silverin Guard, as more Dragon Princes are going to be the call-in here. So I'm curious how these Dragon Princes may have done in their first life. No, it's a different unit, so we didn't get a round 2 for those bad boys. Fay Enchantress going down, that would be a big momentum shift. I like that Platypus maybe started to realize the game was getting a little bit crazy, and going for the kill, and he takes down the Fay Enchantress. That is big, because Bretonnia's leadership, like on their troopers, isn't amazing. Grail Relics do kind of like help remedy that to an extent, but even still, that's a huge pick. Gets rid of a Mortis Engine, gets rid of your caster, and obviously will be applying a big leadership penalty to all the Bretonnians. Objective 3 going to be taken. Objective 2 by Bretonnia. Objective 1 by Bretonnia here, so I had them counted backwards a little bit. Grail Knights being called in. Excellent choice. Grail Knights are such a hard counter against Dragon Princes. I would imagine they're just going to be bouncing around, doing whatever damage they can. Grail Knights are just a solid unit. Like, they wreck pretty much everything in combat. I mean, obviously, they don't want to be fighting halberds in sustained combat, but they can get it done. And Platy with another beautiful net right there. That was super clean. Nets down those Knights Errant. Now the Dragon Princes are going to come in and finish them off. A couple Bretonnian troopers going to be saturating in to try and help out against the Dragon Princes, while some Bretonnians, these Knights of the Realm on the flank, do find a way to get on top of the Archers and should be able to keep penetrating into the backfield. The Grail Knights going to be hammering into the center. Using them against the Pure Main Company isn't a bad idea. You don't want to stay in sustained combat, though. Pure Main Company will not only sunder your armor, but also will be a good general AP unit. And now it looks like the Grail Knights going to be bouncing elsewhere, realizing they have bigger fish to fry as PECLIS tries to hunt them down. Sword of PECLIS active. Give some reserves and spell mastery. That's Balthazar Gelt's item should do the same thing as the Sword of Teclis, or something similar. Currently his item's just stupid. It's literally like a generic like hero item. But Bretonnia does have the triple cap. Granted, I think Platypus is going to maybe find a way to scrap some value back. Certainly one of the stronger players we've had in the community in Warhammer 3. If anybody can find a way back, it would be him in this situation. As Grail Knights do get into combat with Dragon Princes with these supportive infantry, so that's got to be pretty cost effective. And you can see the Dragon Princes starting to hemorrhage models. Teclis responds with a nice AoE here, going to be hitting all the Bretonnian troopers. Teclis probably not bad on value, about 2,000 right now, as Phoenix Guard are now called out. So the elite of the elite are on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Your main company, barely losing any models. I've only lost 8 models as they massacre these men-at-arms and endure cavalry charges. And those damn Grail Relics, man, they really are just allowing Bretonnia to hold on to that objective for an unnatural amount of time. Foot Squires being called out, good call. You see the Phoenix Guard call out, Foot Squires are the answer, right? Foot Squires will uptrade into them very well. Even though a Phoenix Guard would defeat a Foot Squire, if you look at the cost of it, it's going to be better for the Foot Squire overall. And it looks like Bretonnia's got this objective. Some Silver and Guard, no basic Spearmen are hanging out here. PECLIS going to be heading over to the middle objective, and the Grail Knights, did they actually get routed? No, those are Knights of the Realm. Kind of lost track of the Grail Knights here, but a lot of Bretonnians going to be waddling forth. No, nothing really holding that side objective, so maybe Platy's going to be sending some white lines over there to grab that point, or he'll just continue fighting on these 2 objectives. We'll have to see. Yep, looks like the Grail Knights made their way over to the center, having accrued about 1,200 value worth of Dragon Princes. But the Elves probably claimed this one. White Lines of Crace as well as Phoenix Guard very close to getting this. Bretonnia does have nice, comfortable control over Objective 1, assuming they move these troopers onto the point. Obviously, the capture weight favors the Elves right now, but they have plenty of units nearby. Their Knights Errant and their Peasants have been able to win that fight there. More Elves on the way in. It's going to be basic Spearmen, which Battle Pilgrims can trade very cost-effectively into. And on the side point, Bretonnia is basically just getting this one for free, not being defended by anything really. So here comes PECLIS, and PECLIS's nets have been great this game, just breaking Grail Knight charges. Talk about a cost-effective play, right? Because now these White Lines of Crace are going to move in with their big, just crumpin' sticks, and they're going to be able to drag down Grail Knights. They have like, what, 50 melee attack on these guys, and Teclis is also helping them out. Grail Knights are going to be taking pretty substantial casualties. Granted, oh, the Fay Enchantress, she's back, baby! She's back from the dead, so that's going to be a big second win for Bretonnia. Obviously, she was resummoned at a great cost and amount of time, because the thing is, if you wait to resummon a Lord, you give up a ton of agency on the battlefield in terms of your bodies on the field, right? So capture weight, cavalry unit, like there could have been 2 more Knights of the Realm out on the field instead of the Fay Enchantress. But I think in this case it's worth it with the Bretonnia's low leadership in tandem with how powerful the Fay Enchantress is. Her Mortis Engine effects being very good here. I think that's the way. But man, Platy is he's certainly a bird of prey right now as he continues to hunt down the Fay Enchantress. That's going to be a super hot Chalice of Potions if that lands. And I don't know if Platy sees it. He does. Okay, he's able to get away. If he didn't see that, that would have been very devastating. That would have been potentially, an objective winning play there. It still does some collateral damage on the Phoenix Guard, which isn't bad. A couple Grail Knights trying to screen out Teclis, but Teclis is a raid boss. Arcane Phoenixes in general are a nightmare to take down. They just have such good defensive stats, and also hit relatively hard, I suppose. Yeah, I think that it's the other birds that maybe need a damage buff, like Frost and Flamespire, because like they have weapon strength in like the low 3s, and they're actually not cheap. But yeah, they could have like Manscore weapon strength, although I guess they do have armor piercing. Some of them do, yeah. So a little bit tricky. So Fay Enchantress still juking. Good micro on both sides, but now the Elves are going to be taking away that free real estate. And Bretonnia is going to be responding with some Battle Pilgrims, but I don't think they'll get there before the objective is captured, which is going to be pretty catastrophic. Currently looking at the score, we do see the Bretonnian player is up in points. Lord, I'm going to have to... How the hell would you say that? Oh my god. That's something. I mean, I could guess, but I don't want to mangle it, so you guys will have to let me know in chat. That'll probably be like 90% of the comments on this video is just going to be talking about that. So... Peasant Bowman with the Pox Arrows shooting away. As far as Objective 2 goes, it's being contested. It looks like Bretonnia is going to maybe be able to wrestle this one back. They have a lot of just chaff units here, including Battle Pilgrims and Foot Squires are going to be arriving. Bretonnian Knights aren't going to be retreating back, but Teclis does get surrounded by a couple Grail Knights, and truly a testament to the elite nature of these Bretonnians. 3,000 value. They're actually able to drag a ton of HP off Teclis. He gets absolutely gooned there, and Teclis does not have the rebirth ability like the regular Phoenixes do, so that's really cost-effective for Bretonnia there, Teclis being taken down quite a notch. Now, bottom objective taken, definitely a big blunder for Bretonnia. They could have summoned in some chaff units earlier to just occupy it and give them time to react. Alas, that objective is going to be going to the High Elves. Meanwhile, the middle objective goes to Bretonnia, and the high objective for Bretonnia as well. So Bretonnia is maintaining control over this game, and is maintaining control over the capture weight. Teclis still doing whatever he can to scrap and get picks. Killing the Fay Enchantress again is going to be tough. It's much like in like, in any RTS game when somebody surprises you with a trick. Let's say it's StarCraft. It's like a medevac drop in the back of your base. a Nidus Canal, or in Age of Empires, somebody could like land off your coast with some trebuchets to try and snipe your landmarks. You know, when those things happen, typically it's harder to get somebody twice with the same trick. You're going to be like super on guard. Or like in Dune Spice Wars, when somebody tries to assassinate you, you're going to be sending in all your assets like for the rest of the game to make sure that like same blunder doesn't happen again. But we'll see. Fay Enchantress might have to get her hands dirty in this fight. At the back, more Knights of the Realm being called in. Fireborn pushing back to disrupt those archers, so they must have had a grudge with the ancestors of those archers, that is for sure. And the old Fay Enchantress is deciding to stay in combat, so thinking maybe with the spear support it's going to be enough to get PECLIS down. She's not the worst fighter in the world. The Fay Enchantress does have some decent melee attack. And here we get Knights of the Realm engaging versus the Fireborn. Fireborn will decisively win that fight. Over here, we do get Foot Squires, no Battle Pilgrims battling it out with Spearmen. Eventually, Bretonnia will get that, but it's going to take a long time. Spearmen are good at one thing, and it's holding. Big old Chalice of Potions going down. A lot of collateral damage. Very Bretonnian, right? Throw the peasants to the dogs and let the knights ride in and take the objective there. So the old men-at-arms get nuked, but at the end of the day, that collateral damage was worth it, as those Phoenix Guard do get blown off the objective, the remnants of them. Bretonnia is getting dangerously close to winning this game. They're going to be hitting 1,000 points here. They're getting 2 victory tickets per second, as the Spearmen continue fighting over towards Objective 1 to try and get through the Spearmen-at-Arms. Talk about a wet noodle contest right here. For Bretonnia, yeah, definitely trying to take these side objectives, get that triple cap, really put Platypus on the back foot would be quite big. Platy is down in value, and Bretonnia does have access to healing, like I said. Fay Enchantress is very beat up, and I think we're starting to see the High Elves running out of steam. I don't know. Platypus maybe has got some schemes to pull this one back, but this is a really, really nice play here. Getting these Knights Errant here by Lord, rear charging into the Spearmen, and supporting the Battle Pilgrims is going to be huge, and that's going to flip that objective, and Platy is really running out of time. High Elves are not the best at just like rapidly taking objectives. You know, they don't have like really, I mean, I guess you could use Reaver Cavalry, like 2 or 3 Reavers to go and like fight on a point and immediately get like 10, 8 to 12 capture weight, but yeah, it's tricky. Fay Enchantress anchoring it down. We are going to be seeing 1,100 points here. Elves calling in more and more archers, but this point decisively taken here by the Battle Pilgrims, who I would imagine will be taking a bit of a wine vacation here, enjoying the vineyards of Bretonnia. Although, I don't know. Yeah, these look, I'm not sure what they're growing here. It looks like more like wheat crops, things like that. But, this is, I'm sure there's some wine up in the chateau. Oh, no, this is Ostucci Castle. Okay, never mind. This is like a Nippon/Cathay map. But, yeah, Battle Pilgrims anchoring it down there. For some reason, I was just casting a game on Chateau de Roquefort, which is the Bretonnian map. And, it all kind of blurs together at one point. So Elves trying to get this one back. They do have 2 Spearman units, but the Grail Relic keeping these Battle Pilgrims and Foot Squires fighting into the 4th quarter. Fay Enchantress being hunted by PECLIS, and honestly, it's really hard for her to get away with good micro, right? Because PECLIS does have insane movement speed on that bird. He's got 120, and she's pretty fast in the 90s on a unicorn, but looks like she's going to get away now, which is a very, very big play. PECLIS going to be a little bit surrounded, and Objective 1 for Bretonnia. Middle objective going to be going to the Elves. Battle Pilgrims hanging down on the far side point, as the Bretonnian Cav, who helped liberate that objective, are going to be crushing across on these archers. Should be able to take them down, but we do have these Storm Riders on their way in. Storm Riders should be countered by Battle Pilgrims adequately well in combat. Depends on the situation here. But the Fay Enchantress unsummoned, a wise play to make sure you don't suffer a big leadership penalty in the 4th quarter. Elves looks like they might get a little bit of momentum up in the high ground. Could there be an Elvish resurgence here from the Great Platypus? Find out today. It's pretty crazy. I was watching a little nature documentary on platypus, like the animals. Man, the poison those things have, it's like they're such strange creatures. So strange. Awesome though, for sure. So Knights of the Realm going to be bouncing across. Bretonnia is in a triple cap situation, so they could like loosely defend this high ground point if they want to. Maybe send some troops up there, some cavalry or whatever, and then they could readjust to go for a Helm's Deep on the far side. They have a couple options for sure. Currently, the value gap is being closed, and the Fay Enchantress is not on the field, and PECLIS is doing a lot. I mean, he's terror routing things. He's basically taken out the Fay Enchantress twice. He's at 5,000 value, man. Such a centerpiece. And I love it when expensive lords like pay for themselves. Expensive lords and monsters, and like, I wouldn't say PECLIS is like even super meta either in this matchup. I don't know, what would you normally see in this matchup? It's hard to say. It's not one that I've seen terribly often, but I think High Elves have a good range of options. You could probably do, obviously Eltharion and Tyrion would be pretty bad, but like the Archmages could be very viable. Ilariel could be very viable for healing up like various Dragon Princes, but PECLIS with the nets to control cavalry momentum seems like a pretty badass play. So more Dragon Princes on the way out. Bretonnia is going to be using its Knights of the Realm to intercept, and could there be a little bit of witchcraft here? High ground point is flipping. Bretonnia not even contesting it. Bretonnia basically going to be going all in on this point. And they do have the Dragon Princes and the Battle Pilgrims holding these guys back valiantly. I think that's just barely going to be it, and Bretonnia is going to just narrowly claim this game. As we do a little bit of fast forwarding and close this one out, we do see it go. And that is going to be a victory for the mighty Bretonnian Lord. GG, well played, man. That was a great scrap. Obviously, 2 top-tier players going out it. And big shout-out to Platypus for sending in a replay of a loss. Not too many people do that, but surely a good testament to his, you know, to the mind frame in the game. It's good. It's good to, you know, see what went wrong and go back to the drawing board, and, you know, also take some good character descendant losses too, for sure. All right, great game, man. Interesting usage of the Battle Pilgrims. I suppose they're more durable capture weight than Foot Squires because they do have shields. Interesting. They do have higher leadership than Foot Squires also. So I would have been, yeah, I suppose with the prevalence of the archers, but yeah, I can't help but wonder how like 5 Foot Squires would have done. Because the Foot Squires also have great weapons against the armored cavalry. I don't know. Maybe the Pilgrims are the way. Clearly, I mean, he beat Platypus, who's a top tier player. So, and I would imagine Lord is very good as well. Yeah, they're both an RTK. So, yeah, Grail Knight, 3,300. The Grail Knight was the big carry. He was so good against the Dragon Prince style of play. And Platypus's techless play was nuts. He was just like hunting, microing, getting all the opportune nets, beautiful Flock of Dooms. It was just very, very clean for sure. This was a cursed matchup for the High Elves back in Warhammer 2. I wonder what it looks like now overall, though, like the win rates. We'll have to go check on Tavern. All right, guys, GG, well played. See you next time. Take care of yourselves. And that's going to be it for today.